Hello, everybody. Buddy with Midland, Texas. Got a story for you. But before, I was shot with my phone lines cut for the murder attempt. There was a lot of things I didn't know. I didn't know about the underground homes, the tunnels, rigged homes, secret police, none of that, And I just knew people were breaking my house and I'm locking the doors and windows. I can't figure out how they're getting in, And so anyway, one silly thing I did was thinking, well, maybe it's kids. I could hear them in the attic and they're coming in these registers and these vents, And so see how I got glue around it? I glued the thing to the wall. Well, that's in retrospect, that's not very smart, but I'm just trying to figure it out. And here I want to show you something. Okay, so here, I literally glue the vents to the wall, trying to figure out how they're getting into my home, and then I see this on Facebook, a post from a Denise Jarrett. I went to school with her. I thought she was my friend, and I've ran into that many times. People I thought were my friend. Anyway, she posts on Facebook, "What? Feeling freaky? What?" And then I hear something in her, sounds like it's in my attic. Little funny face. Oh my, hope the vents to the attic were glued in. Saturday, have not trapped birds or a squirrel in. Gonna investigate my PJs. She was mocking me. Nobody glues their vents to the wall, but I had, because I had people in the attic and I couldn't figure out how they're getting in my house, not thinking that they, got $1 million underground home, tunnels, trapdoor, any of that, I'm just trying to figure this out. And this is before they cut my phone lines and shot me. I was 100% absolutely convinced Denise Jarrett knew what was going on inside my home. Here's another story about knowing what's going on in my house. I think it's back in 2016. I was writing Attorney General Paxton. Okay, I was sending evidence, emailing, and I get contacted from a guy from that office, told me to contact the PIU, the Texas Public Integrity Unit, and they investigate allegations of corruption in public departments. And that's exactly what's going on. Okay, so I did as advised, and I get contacted by Jeffrey Strain, a Texas Ranger that's right here in Midland. Well, I was kind of worried that he wasn't with the PIU and they pulled a fast one on me. So I asked him, I said, "Are you with the PIU?" "Oh, no, but they assigned me your case, And I was, at that time, the secret police were still secret. And I was concerned that he was going to be friends with them. And I found out later that's exactly right. Somebody told me and says, "Yeah, I went to junior high. Jeffrey Strange, friends with April Chandler." She was one of the secret police, got caught on camera. I later reported him to the PIU. But anyway, Jeffrey Strain advised me to send him the complete stories, how he called it. And I, over and over, I said, "You want me to meet you? I'll meet you somewhere, face to face. I'll tell you what's going on." No, that's all right. Just send me. And I sent over about 80 emails to Jeffrey Strain. That's what I looked here. Of multiple murders, everything. And he just quit replying, I mean, and I contacted the supervisor. I didn't get a reply. And that was it. That was done. It's all done. And then all of a sudden I see another Facebook post from this woman here from Carlsbad, Melody Mustang McClintock. And she writes here, she says, "I've noticed there's an awful strain of judging going around." And look how she put strain in quotation marks. At that time, I was sending them emails to Jeffrey Strain. Well, that's not a common, phrase. I was 100% sure that Melody knew about my private emails concerning multiple capital murders. I was positive about it. Here was her meme. "Don't judge someone because they sin differently than you," which I think probably has something to do with the underground home, And this was the message from Jeffrey Strain right here. And I asked him, "Are you with the PIU?" Technically, I'm not in the PIU, which is out of Austin. Yes, you contacted them and they assigned me to look into your allegations and forwarded me the emails you sent. And that was in February 2017. He's a Texas Ranger. And like I said, 80 fact-filled emails, multiple crimes and murders, and then boom, that was it, But I was 100% convinced somehow Melody Mustang McClintock was privy to my private emails going to a law enforcement officer concerning multiple crimes and murders. Got another story for you. The year before the murder attempt, I worked for DCP Midstream, large gas company that's owned by Duke ConocoPhillips, so it's a major, okay? And I due to innuendos, things people said at work, I was sure that there was, several people at work that knew who was breaking into my house, okay? And now I know why, because there's an underground facility in the backyard that was used for the oil show parties. Obviously, they'd been the oil show parties. They knew all along I was being terrorized, my life was being threatened, and they're pretending, that, oh, buddy's crazy type thing, now we're going to cut his phone lines and shoot him and call him our friend, I mean, literally, that's what's going on. Anyway, after I survived the murder attempt, I contacted Dane. He was my supervisor, Dane Wiggins, and I had went to him the year, just a few months before the murder attempt, and reported 5 coworkers that I worked with that I believe they knew who was breaking my home. Okay, and so then after the murder attempt, I contacted Dane right here and said, Dane, do you have the documentation of me reporting to you the 5 people who I believe had knowledge of me, people breaking into my home? This is a few months before the murder attempt on my life. Call me when you get time. My number's this. And this was in November 10th. I was shot in January 28th. Dane blocked me. He never answered. And then what happened was the company ends up laying Dane off and laying most all them people I reported, and they put me on long-term disability. I felt like a cover-up was going on, And one of these people, I was looking at the Facebook. She's no longer alive. She was one person I reported, Robin McAllister Steer here in Midland. And I was looking at their Facebooks, and I saw this shit. Her birthday was the same day of the murder attempt. Okay, and this guy named Steve Parker, he writes on her birthday app, says, you need to add or delete one friend and get off the nasty number. That's the day that I'm shot with my phone lines cut. A murder attempt, premeditated murder attempt. And then he writes her again and says, happy birthday. Don't get on Facebook too often. And that's what I was noticing. I was looking at people's timelines on their Facebook, and I was noticing, here they post every single day for 2 or 3 years, and all of a sudden there's a gap for 2 months from 2 weeks to 2 months or whatever. As soon as I'm shot, like somebody told them to get off of Facebook. Oh, buddy didn't die when we cut his phone lines and shot him. You need to get off of Facebook. And keep in mind, she's one of the people that I had reported to Dane, and now she's no longer alive. But one thing the ex-wife had told me when she was here, she told me that there was micro cameras here, and I believe that. I believe it to this day. And and now I know a lot more than I did back then. But I also had reason to believe that there might have been some how do you put it without getting kicked off social media. People were selling themselves right in my home, and I think probably what was going on was like, oh, buddy's at work, he never suspect, we're in here doing things in his house, and they're filming them, because they got micro cameras. Also, the ex-wife's 12-year-old daughter was here. I'm sure they filmed her naked, and these homes that are rigged with people in the attic are all over the place, and they're watching you and your children naked, probably filming it too. Probably micro cameras there is what I'm guessing. But I'm just the lack of privacy is off the chart. I mean, you can't even imagine any phone call, anything on your computer. No, it's already known before you do it. And that was one thing I told the ex-wife, but before before I was shot, I said, I can't do anything covert, no matter what I try to do. It's like they sit there watching me all the time, and that sounds schizophrenic. That's what they do. They'll call you schizophrenic. Well, you got people in your attic that literally live in here, They are watching you. That's what's happening. That's why they know what you're doing, and that's why they can counter it before you do it. There's a scripture in the Bible, Bible says it's vain to spread out the net for the birds in front of the birds. I can't remember the exact words, but that's basically what you're doing. You're right there in front of them. Oh, here, I'm going to put this camera over here and try to catch them. They're watching you put the camera there. No, well, that ain't going to help at all, Anyways, I'm just going to show you some of that. If all we got to do is get law enforcement do their job. Breaking into homes, maiming, murdering, mutilating, terrorizing, poisoning, torturing innocent Christian homeowners has got to stop. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.